Let's talk about one of my favorite parts of reading fiction, and that is the theme. One of the reasons I like talking about theme is because I am a big proponent of reader interpretation as far as literature. And when we're looking at themes, a lot of it is our own interpretation of what the theme is within a story. I also like looking at themes because it shows the importance of stories within our lives. It shows why certain stories persist, why others seem to fall away over time. And we're going to look at that as we go through the stories this semester. Let's start by talking about the difference between subject and theme. So subject, we're really looking at something broad. We look at something like disappointment. Disappointment is a broad subject. Theme, we really narrow that aspect of a subject. So we might look at how to cope with disappointment, say with family members, or how does disappointment shape a character's response to a certain situation. Here we're looking at a narrow part of that larger subject. So it's important to discern the difference between subject and theme. One of the reasons that we want to discern the difference is because multiple readers might agree on the same subject, but the theme is where they might depart as they look at the different elements or parts of the story. Next, it's important to talk about the difference between plot and theme. Plot is more of a summary of the story. This is what the story is saying, whereas theme is the meaning we derive from that story. So if I'm talking about something like The Wizard of Oz, I would say the plot is Dorothy is thrown into another world in which she tries to get back home to Kansas. She meets three people along the way, the Scarecrow, the Tin Man, the Lion. They go to the wizard and she asks the wizard how to get back home. That's the basic plot. That's what's happening in the story. The theme or the meaning we get from that can vary. We can say that the theme is maybe a sense of belonging. Dorothy doesn't feel that she belongs in her home situation. She doesn't have parents. She's living with her aunt and uncle. Maybe she's not feeling her place in the world. And so this story is an investigation as to where she fits in. Now, when we get to theme and reader, so the reader will determine the theme. This is what I like about fiction, especially short fiction, is you have this multitude of viewpoints on what the theme is. And themes can change over time. Some readers might think that The Wizard of Oz is about this discovery of home. Others might think that it's about escaping responsibilities. So maybe we go off to far and distant lands. Others might think that it's about learning who you are. Everybody or every reader might have a different theme that they pull from a story. And themes can even change in our own lives. If I read a story when I'm a teenager, the theme that impacted me then might be different than the theme that impacts me now because I have different experiences or I'm a different place in my life. One of the problems that I sometimes encounter with students is they will find an author's interpretation of the work and they hold on so tightly to that author's interpretation. I believe that the work itself transcends the author. So the author might have an interpretation, but that doesn't invalidate the reader's interpretation as well. However, not all themes are valid. We're really looking at what themes can we support based on the evidence within the story itself. So if we look on the left-hand side, The Wizard of Oz is a story that shows the movement between self-doubt to self-confidence. This is the theme that I'm ascribing to The Wizard of Oz. Do I have evidence? Yes, I see that the Scarecrow was intelligent before meeting the wizard. The Tin Man is compassionate while claiming he has no heart. And then the lion shows courage also early in the story. If I then look at the right-hand side and I say The Wizard of Oz is about the decline in social communication since the ubiquitous availability of cell phones. My evidence, I have no evidence. I can't find anything in The Wizard of Oz to support this, so I can't just say, this is just what I think, and that makes it a valid theme. No, we need to make sure that our interpretations and our themes are rooted and based in the story itself. Again, I like talking about themes because it shows the larger importance of the story. We see writers like Shakespeare who are still being taught today because a lot of the themes still carry over today. They are themes that are universal, that everyone can empathize with or associate with. This is what makes a great story is that it connects with these basic human elements that we all deal with day to day. Think about stories that have impacted your life. Think about the themes that you have connected with in stories.